This program is powered by thevirtual.show, making your offline events virtual. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of WEBIT Virtual, Dr. Plamen, Russev.
Hello and welcome
for joining us for another WEBIT Virtual event as part of the Brand Innovation Week. We've been having such a fantastic discussion yesterday with two global leaders in marketing and innovation, the CMO of, the founder of Bigwin and Chuck Porter, and we had the Trade Desk CMO. Today we are hosting our favorite part of the week, which is the Founders Games Demo Day. And you know the drill. We have 4 investors jury, and we have 3 fantastic founders, part of our Founders Games startup competition, which is the world's biggest, but of 5,000 startups applications and a selection of really some of the finest founders that we select and we invite to pitch in front of you. As you know very well, WEBIT is a not-for-profit foundation. All of our resources and impact are focused on defining the opportunity for the founders and entrepreneurs to support the innovation. And last but not least, recently we have announced our partnership with the World Economic Forum, becoming their partner, special partner for their COVID uplink project, supporting them with our community and giving them some of the best opportunities and founders to join their startup challenge and their process of vetting and valuation. Saying that, without further ado, I would like to introduce our 4 members of the jury so we can start the pitching as soon as possible. This is our first jury member.
Laura Egg is Managing Director of the Austrian Angel Investors Association. Having gained experience in the Tyrolean startup community, her enthusiasm for innovative business models and new technologies led her to the VC fund Apex Ventures in early 2019. Since March 2020, she has taken on the role of Managing Director at AAIA and has set herself the goal of positioning the network throughout Europe and fully exploiting the potential of the location.
Laura, such a pleasure to have you with us in the WEBIT Virtual Studio. How are you?
Hi, happy to be here, and thanks for the invitation.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Austria is always doing great when it comes in boosting the innovation, and I'll be happy to hear a little bit more from you after we do the vetting. So thank you so much for joining. With your permission, I am introducing our second jury member.
Godska is founder and general partner at Acrobator Ventures, the new venture he founded in 2008 following the success of his angel investments. Bas is an e-commerce pioneer since the year 2000, being active as an e-marketing expert and growth hack consultant for nearly 2 decades. He has served in the leadership team of multiple UK-USA listed 1 billion plus firms and has also helped shape the digital ecosphere in Russia as C-level executive of Russian e-commerce leaders Ozon, La Moda and others.
Bas, thank you for joining. Pleasure having you with us from Austria to Netherlands. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thanks for having us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much, Bas. Let me introduce our next participant of the jury.
Nicolai Schättgen is the founder and CEO of Matchmaker Ventures. Startup founder himself, board member at tech startups and mentor for several accelerators, Nicolai was part of the global time leadership team at Arthur D. Little, advising multi-billion-dollar companies and financial investors. At Matchmaker Ventures, Nicolai is bridging the gap between growth stage companies and large corporates with the objective to set up value-creating collaborations between the two.
I've mentioned Austria, I've mentioned Netherlands, and then Germany, but with a permanent residency in Austria these days. How are you, Nicolai?
Very good, thank you. Excellent. Good to be here again.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. Let me introduce the fourth member of the jury and let our work start.
Lluís Viñas devoted the first years of his professional career as a business strategy consultant, collaborating with management projects all around Europe, Latin America and the Middle East. After outstandingly obtaining an MBA from IESE and Columbia Business School, Lluís joined the venture capital industry, where he has been working since mid-2017 and is currently managing a dedicated European InsurTech fund.
Lluís, hola, ¿qué tal?
Good afternoon, all. Happy to be here.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, Lluís, for joining. So let's go for what we are here for. We have 3 startup founders, and currently we have you guys who are going to vet them. Without further ado, we shall start with the first founder. I'm presenting you and wider, and the founder, Leah. How are you, Leah?
Good, thank you.
So you're going to be presenting your company for 3 minutes, and then you're having 5 more minutes for Q&A with the audience. May the 3 minutes start now.
Great. Lee from And Wider. We provide clarity on working conditions along global supply chains for our clients by gathering anonymous data direct from workers themselves. Why do we need to do that? There's a significant problem with invisible working conditions. We know that because there are over 40 million modern slaves in the world today, and a huge problem when it comes to labor exploitation. And the corona pandemic has only exacerbated that invisibility. So if the problem is invisibility, our solution is to make working conditions visible. How do we do that? We push automated calls to workers' mobiles to gather insight on working conditions. These are automated calls. The worker always receives a 5-minute call in the language of the worker's choosing. They never use their voice, they never mention their name. They simply press 1 for yes, 2 for no, or 3 for don't know, in response to 20 simple questions about working conditions. And that data lands on easy to read traffic light dashboards, where every site or workplace is classified as either red, an urgent situation, poor working conditions, amber, a mixed picture, or green, clean, and further detail on the priorities per site and the progress that site has made in improving working conditions is just a click away. So about the business. Essentially, the business model is all about repeat business. Our clients come to us to monitor the same sites, to monitor those working conditions over time. There are 2 growth dynamics in the business. We grow the number of clients we work with, and we grow with our existing clients as they scale up and have us cover more sites for them. And we reach those clients through large-scale collectives. These are membership bodies, sometimes with 50, 60,000 companies. And they identify the clients that are mature and interested in monitoring working conditions, and they drive those clients to us. Essentially, what's unique about what we do is we generate anonymous data remotely. We do that scalably because it's all digital. We can work anywhere in any sector and geography. We can deploy the system within 10 working days, and there's a feel-good factor. The system rewards progress and rewards suppliers who improve workers' lives. We're currently active across 25 countries with 57 clients, including the likes of Amazon, Sainsbury's, Tesco's, AB InBev, and the like. And our team composition reflects our business priorities. Data science expertise, responsible sourcing and global supply chain expertise, and of course, a strong tech team to deliver scalable, stable tech. So that's it from me. Please feel free to get in touch if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Leah. It's first award for you, 3 minutes straight. That's a great job. Thank you so much, Leah. It was very, very much on the spot. I would like to have the jurymen now joining. And just for the record, for all of you, it is the time when the brands are not only the customers, are not only the communities, the brands are all of this plus the employees. That's why the startup is so important for the times of COVID and afterwards, where you can really define the happy employee, happy clients. That's more or less. So I would like to have the investors starting their questions now for the next 5 minutes. Who's going to be first?
Happy to take it.
Please do.
Fantastic, first of all. Really great what you're doing. I think that's a fantastic initiative and venture which you have started. But in terms of the business logics on an individual client, how long does it really take you to convert you, kind of the scalability and then the profitability a little bit? Just when does it really make sense? And second question, is there something bigger planned in terms of whatever a global certification to even scale it faster? Because I assume the one by one gonna be tedious.
Excellent questions, Nicolai. So it can take, the fastest conversion has been kind of six days. The slowest has taken about 9 months to date. Essentially, what turns a piloting client into an interesting client is when they start to cover kind of 20 sites or more. And there's a pathway to scaling. We've got a lot of business intelligence because we've been operating since 2014 about exactly which clients are scalable clients and how they scale, is what their needs are during that scaling journey, and it differs from sector to sector. So we're active across 4 sectors currently: FMCG, apparel, construction, including utilities, and the energy sector, energy being quite new. And the kind of pathways to scalability are quite different in those different sectors. So long story short, you get scale per workforce in the apparel sector because the workforce sizes are so huge, and our pricing is dependent on the size of the workforce. So the bigger the workforce, the bigger the revenues, and it's longitudinal monitoring. So we once we get into a workplace, we stay there. But those are interesting, those huge workforce sizes in apparel. But it's also interesting, of course, when you get first-year suppliers and clients who have huge supply chains, and we profile them from the outset. So we have a client profiling system that has 2 indicators for on client behavior and 2 on client motivation, and a scalability score. So we determine exactly how much time we spend on each client on the basis of that scalability score.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. My suggestion for all the founders, please go for as short answers as possible so you can allow more questions. Laura, please go ahead.
My question is kind of connected to the first one. I want to ask how long it takes to onboard a new customer. Do they have finalized lists of all the mobile numbers of all their employees, or how is it working?
So it takes an hour to onboard a new supplier, in other words, the employer on the workplace, and it takes half an hour to onboard a brand. But again, back to Nicolai's question, it depends on how significant the brand is to us as a client. If they're a scalable client, we invest more time. If they're not a scalable client, we invest less time.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, just one more further question. Is even every employee having a phone number, for example, in the apparel industry? I wonder if you can even reach all the workers.
We don't sample. We call all the workers for whom we have a mobile number, and you would be pleasantly surprised when it comes to mobile penetration, even in remote settings like Benin, in Africa, or Bangladesh, etc. You would assume that mobile penetration is low. In fact, it's quite the opposite. So we don't rely on every worker and every workforce we cover to have a mobile phone. We don't need it because we've got techniques to essentially gather insight about labor practices across the site and not individual experiences of working conditions. So we use distributive questioning and similar techniques such that everyone who answers our call becomes an eyewitness who reports about labor practices across the site.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right, next question.
Can I go?
Yeah, please go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, firstly, the enterprises or those clients that work. So are there also kind of clients that say, okay, we have a supplier and we want that person or that company to be monitored, and then it's just part of the agreement with the supplier? Does that work like that? Maybe a clothing factory somewhere and a big brand wants to be sure that there's no sweatshop?
So clients select the sites they want us to cover for different reasons. Sometimes it's based on crisis. Sometimes it's based on an early warning motivation. So sometimes they want to cover a large number of sites and have our system prioritize where their attention is needed most. And where they can, where they can afford to take their eyes off the ball, if you like. And other times they have us cover, particular supplier profiles or even particular businesses. Because
thank you. I'm going to interrupt because I have a lot of questions quickly. So basically, thanks. I understood it. What it is. So basically, with your churn, do you have a churn percentage on customers? How many did you lose so far?
We've lost 4. And 3 of those was on the basis of financial difficulty, and the other was on the basis that they wanted us to collaborate with an online platform, and the online platform provided too little weight to our results. It was 0.05% of the kind of assessment score they gave to the supplier. So we thought that was essentially not doing justice to the voice of the workers.
Sorry for interrupting you, but we really ran out of time, and I want to see if Lluís is having a question so we can keep up to the rules of this speech session. Lluís, I hope we can hear you well, because I think we have issues with your sound. Sorry. Okay, you can send over your questions and we can ask them on your behalf. I don't know why we have this issue. Sorry for interrupting, Baz, but it's been 5 minutes and they're over. So thank you so much, Leah. Please stay with us, and we move to our next participant. The company is called User and the .com. What a great domain and naming. And we have Mike Korba from Poland representing the company.
Hello.
Hello. How are you, Mike?
I'm fine, thanks. I hope you hear me well, yeah?
Perfectly well, Mike. Dzień dobry. Dzień dobry. Do you say well?
Yes, in Polish, good morning is dzień dobry. I think I hear you well, you hear me well, and I have a control. Okay, so hi, my name is Mike, and I'm a co-founder of User.com, a marketing automation platform for smart online businesses. We help turn every visitor into happy customer. And if you want to turn every visitor into happy customer, you have to coordinate work of the 3 crucial departments: marketing, sales, and support. And representatives of those crucial departments are our customers. In User.com, we believe that automation makes money for your business, and you can grow your business by delivering personalized communication based on data, so that we decide to build a tool which is easy and accessible and gather all information about your activity of your users inside your mobile application or your website. It covers all communication history with particular user and can be extended with some custom data, and enables you to reach the right audience with the right message through the right channel. And we cover such channels like email, live chat, chatbots, web push, mobile push notification, pop-ups, HTML content, and many more. Our problem we solve is the size of marketing technology landscape, which is really, really wide. So we've decided to build a very easy to use tool similar for leading solutions like MailChimp, LiveChat, and Pipedrive, and give such capabilities which is able with HubSpot, Salesforce, or Marketo. And our market is growing very, very fast and will grow for many next years. I could talk about our product for hours, about our segmentation and filtering, about how easy it is to use our email marketing, live chat solution, CRM, call center, or how powerful is our analytical module, but I don't have time for that. So one of our main and the coolest feature is the easy and simple to use drag and drop builder, where you can build your whole customer journey communication. And if you don't know what kind of processes you want to automate, we have the biggest library of success patterns, so templates of the automations. Our marketing strategy is pretty simple: build a great product and then buy a good domain, just to remember it. We offer our main features in a freemium model, so live chat and CRM and many more are totally for free, because we believe that someday those people will be able to automate it, and then we can offer our concierge onboarding on that. We are 4 years on the market, currently on the level of 1 million annual recurring revenue, with loving group of customers, with the big ones like corporate, smaller ones, SaaS and e-commerce businesses. Currently, we are not looking for money, but help to. We would love to help your companies.
I hate to interrupt you, but 3 minutes are over. But
sorry.
Still, no, don't worry. I hate it, but that's my job. What can I do? So we have Mike presenting a great company with a very easy to remember domain, user.com, and the floor is now yours, jury members. Lluís, did we fix your audio already?
Let's see. Do you hear me better now?
Yeah, perfect.
Great.
Okay. So sorry about that before. So just a question for you. How do you compare, and how was your strategy competing against all these giants that there are around now, around the automation, right? So WePath and all these other tools.
In terms of the competitive, we are a second choice solution. So for example, in SaaS industry, we are competing mostly with Intercom, and we are building whole flows and migrators, which you can like add your app in account in Intercom, and we can through the API gather all the communication history. So we are aware that marketing technology have a big players, and this is our strategy. We are cheaper. Yeah, it's true, but we built whole onboarding processes on easy to migrate from your current solution. Like being a second solution is our strategy.
Okay, thank you. Bas?
Yeah, hi. Nice that there's somebody challenging this sector, because some of the platforms are extremely expensive after your startups.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is our biggest advantage.
Not everything. I guess there's a network effect on the APIs. Do you have as many? I think HubSpot has about 400 integrations. How are you?
Yeah, I believe most of them are through third parts, so like Zapier integrations. We build a lot of our integrations. Yeah, we cover all the communication channels. So our strategy is rather, if you have a CRM in Pipedrive, use web push for one signal and like live chat for live chat communication. It's better to have all in one solution inside our app. But of course, via our REST API or via our direct integration with Segment, Zapier, and any other providers, whole integrations can be done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question, please.
I find this really, if it's fine if I speak, I find the solution really interesting, as we are using Zapier a lot, and it gets really complicated after a while if you have complex processes. And it's also quite hard to use. But my question would be more based on the pricing, because I saw on the website that you have a freemium model. So I would be interested how many clients you have currently on the freemium, and how is the conversion rate then to the premium?
Being honest, freemium version is not the old one. We've launched it like sometime not long ago. This is our idea to like. We don't believe in conversion from freemium users to paid users, but we offer in the freemium version solutions which give us traffic. Yeah, best source of our traffic is like when somebody is clicking through this little branding inside live chat solution or inside web push prompt. So we treat our freemium solution rather as a promotional channel than a channel which we will get a scale and we will convert them into business plans. Yeah, for business plans we have like a different strategies of acquisition, including marketplaces, including direct sales, etc.
Interesting. So it wouldn't be that I would start on the freemium and then upgrade to the premium.
No, this is not our strategy. We offer premium just to grow our brand exposure and gain traffic from those sources. We don't believe if you want to use a free live chat, it's great. You can use our solution, but the conversion from a freemium users to paying users, it's not so high.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe just brief last one. It's broad what you're offering in my view. I'm kind of thinking, who is then the best ideal customer, or what are the target profiles, so to say? If you have, this is the top 2 customers which are really paying the bills and with whom you scale. Just give me a few indications of characteristics.
Okay, so smart online businesses as one sentence. We focus on SaaS applications and e-commerce, so e-shops. It's like 60% of our customer base. We have several corporations like BNP Paribas in Poland or Kukon Courses, the biggest educational platform in Brazil. So we have like also big traffic customers. And ideal persona is like online businesses, mostly SaaS and e-commerce, but we have a lot of marketplaces. So if on your customer journey, website or mobile app is important, you need to use your users.
Okay.
User.com.
Great. Thank you so much. Great presentation. Thank you, Mike. Let's have our third founder joining us here. We have addy.co, which is presented by Ben. Hello, Ben. How are you?
Hi, it's great to be here. Thanks.
It's fantastic to host you. Addy.co along with user.com are equally funded with above 3 million. Addy is going to be presented again, a self-service ad marketplace, but Ben will tell you better what the company is doing and how. Ben, you have 3 minutes, and then there will be questions. Please start.
Sounds good. All right. So Addy is an online store where small businesses can purchase and manage all kinds of local market advertising. The simplest sort of parallel here is think of Amazon or Booking.com, but for advertising. So the problem that we're solving is this. If you're a small business, you have more than enough choices for advertising for how you can grow your business. But what you don't have is an easy way to figure out like which ones are actually right for your business. And then when you do place an ad, you get funneled into a process that really hasn't changed in the last 50 years. I'm talking to a salesperson, right? So you're dealing with proposals and contracts, and then you get handed off to an ad production department, and then ultimately you're dealing with a billing department. So to place one ad in one media type, you're typically spending about 4 hours over the course of 3 to 5 days. We think that doesn't make any sense in 2020. So with Addy, you can come to the site and you can shop from literally hundreds of local market advertising options, read all about them, find all the details about like whether or not it's right for your business. And then when you find something you want, you simply add it to your cart and check out. So who do we build this for? So in the US alone, there are over 880,000 small businesses who are already spending more than $25,000, but less than $1 million on advertising every year. Just in the US, that group is spending $90 billion on local media. How are we doing to date? So last year, we had about 500 customers place ads on this site. They generated $3.3 million over the course of about 2,200 ads. And we offered about 8.3 thousand SKUs media-wise. We're clearly facing headwinds in 2020 with COVID. So we've obviously moderated our expectations in terms of growth this year. But you'll see that we continue to add more media options, and then we get right back on track with building the marketplace. All right, the team is 14 of us based in New York. We're a team of experienced operators. I'm a Forex founder. And what I like to say, we're an operational play. So we're actually capable of operating a business and not simultaneously figuring out how to run a business. To date, we've raised $3.7 million. Notable investors, some names you might know: Dick Parsons, Ronald Lauder, and Bill Apfelbaum. And the raise that we're looking for is $2.5 million. You see, it's primarily for marketing. We want to add 5,000 additional customers and get to break even early next year. So while I don't yet put Addy in this pantheon of companies that are out in the world, we have something in common with them, which is that we've so fundamentally changed a process for the buyers that it changes the way they think about the business and shifts it. And so companies like Amazon have changed the way we buy advertising. Addy, that's the same feeling that Addy from when they use Addy. Like they're actually able to. Thank you.
Sorry for this, but there'll be questions, so you can wrap up. Great presentation, by the way. Very, very much to the point. I would like the jury now to start their questions. Laura.
Really nice presentation, by the way. Really like the format and how it's structured. I don't want to ask a question yet because I had to think more about it, but okay. Yes, happy to do it later.
We'll start with the questions first. I see Lluís. Please go ahead, Lluís. You just need to accept the yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Ben. Great presentation. So I wanted to understand a bit better where you sit on the value chain. So I guess that here you in Addy you offer online and offline advertising. So regarding, well, I wanted to understand where you sit if you're a substitute of agencies, right? So are you competing against agencies? So those companies. Today they're going to an agency and they do the placement for them, and you want them to do it directly, or what do you see in the value chain?
Sure. So in the U.S. at least, about 87% of small businesses do not use agencies. They're simply dealing directly with media brokers. So if you want to run ads on radio, you talk to a radio salesperson. So really what we're replacing is a fragmented status quo. And to answer your first question, currently on Addy, the advertising options are magazines, television, online advertising, digital out of home, and direct mail. And we're continuing to add more this year.
Okay,
great.
Just two questions. How deep do you go into helping the customer to find the optimal medium? So kind of how much kind of customer segmentation clients, where's the best ROI? And then where do you take your cut? Is it just from the sell side, or you also take buy side, or how does the model there work?
Sure. All right. So for the first question, when you come to Addy, the first time you use the site, it actually asks you to define the audience that you're looking to reach. So it knows where you are, but rather than asking you about your business, it asks you about your customers. So are they men? Are they women? Are they affluent? Where are they located? And then Addy populates for you the 8 to 15 best media that'll help you reach that audience in your local market. So that's how the discovery part goes. Once people have done that, then they tend to be more of on a browsing experience. They might look at, might decide that magazines are right for them. And we recommend, I don't know, Vogue, and they decide to ultimately buy Harper's Bazaar or Elle or something. On the business side of it, yes, we negotiate wholesale prices with our media partners. So typically we get about a 35% discount off the standard and customary prices, not rate card, but the prices that they typically charge in the market. But because we are eliminating the entire cost of sales for these media companies, no commissions, no salespeople, no art collection, no receivable collection, they're very willing to allow us to have that 35% commission.
All right. Great. Thank you. Yeah. Now Laura is getting a question.
For your recommendations to use AI, and if you have recommended something, can you track it, or can you track the performance of the media campaign of one of your clients that you can make better recommendations next time?
Yeah, so at this point, the recommendations that we're making are based on the information about the audience that the third-party data companies provide us about that media. So for instance, with magazines, it's SRDS or MRI. So we know the composition of the media, and that's what recommendations are based on. No, we aren't yet able to provide feedback on the efficacy of the advertising, because typically that's not what's expected or even wanted from these small businesses. Their agenda might be to raise awareness, their agenda might be to generate phone calls. Like they very much have their own control over and their own thoughts about what that media should be doing. But that is on our roadmap, that we can start to basically feed back to our customers what other people like them are buying, and then those people that are buying that media, how many of them continue to buy it, to give them some indication of, if you're a realtor and you want to reach affluent homeowners in Peoria, this is what other people like you across the country do and continue to do. So we think that's a nice proxy for it. But again, a lot of our media that we offer isn't measurable in the wild, so it's not actually able to be measured on addy as well.
Great, thank you. And last question, maybe from Bas.
Yeah, just wondering how labor intensive on in your backend is this? Like, if you have a small business calling you 10 times a day or something, are you like, is it profitable? Are you not putting too much effort into the whole? Is that impeding your scalability?
Yeah, so there's two parts to that. So one is, again, these businesses, we're replacing for them what is for them a friction-full, unsatisfying experience, right? They're coming to us because they don't want to talk to people. They don't want to have all the back and forth. So that eliminates a big part of it. The other thing is we've built a lot of processes into the system to help them basically answer questions and do things like upload the artwork and find their billing and all that in ways that are far more efficient. But to your second question, Bas, remind me.
Actually, I had another question, but I just wanted to know the scalability, if it was impeded.
Yes. So unlike a SaaS business, local businesses are intermittent advertisers. They don't advertise every month. So when we have 500 active customers, only 50 or 60 of them might even place an ad in any given month, which then reduces our contact points to just the people that happen to be advertising in the current month, which has made it really scalable. Again, we're a small team, we're 14 people. With 500 active customers, we only have 2.5 bodies right now that are committed to customer communication.
Okay. Great, thank you so much. Thank you for these 3 fantastic presentations. As usual, WEBIT is really selecting some of the best in the field, and I believe these 3 companies have fantastic potential, but that's what our team thinks. Now we will hear what the feedback and the reflection of the investors is, and this is, I believe, a very, very important part in this process. We're not only supporting the founders of reaching out to investors. We have quite a community watching this particular demonstration and pitch sessions, but also we have the feedback of the investors, which hopefully will be somehow of value to all the founders. So let's start with feedback. It must be, as you know, straightforward, very open and honest. So that could definitely help the founders. In this case, you're not investing your money as usually happens at WEBIT, but you are investing your time and you support the founders. But we have already 4 cases during these 4 months and a half, 5 months for WEBIT Virtual, particularly where we have startup founders working on closing rounds with the investors that were together with them on the jury panel or being part of the audience. So I would like to start with ladies first. Laura, if you may join me in the studio and share your feedback in regards of the 3 founders and pros and cons, things that you like, things that you would like them to see improving. So Laura, what would you say?
Should I start with wider and then go through the whole startups, or should I make a general conclusion?
Well, I would suggest that we go startup by startup, if you don't mind, so that every founder can take what's the value for her or him.
Yeah, then let's start with wider. I really like the approach as sustainable supply chains are getting more important, and also the clients starting to care about sustainability in the supply of the businesses which they buy products from. So I think an improvement could be that you can really have a certificate, or that even the final client can see how the status is in the factories. This would be kind of an improvement which would be possible. And I would quite worry about the reachability and also the honesty of the workers in the factories, because sometimes I think it's also possible that there is pressure and they are not correctly answering the questions on their mobile phones. And I also wonder how all the workers are informed that they are getting those calls, and how they react if they're getting called.
Okay, thank you. For our next startup.
User find it really interesting. As I said before, we are intensive user of Zapier, and it's getting quite complicated, especially for other people to identify how the processes look like. I think there's
we
really
can schedule a demo.
Yeah, I think there's really tough competition in this market, and as you said, you're a second choice. So I don't have really deep experience how it is in the sales process to be the second choice, but I think as you are way cheaper, this could work. And I don't know how unique your solution is, or how easy it is for other, for example, to HubSpot to build up similar processes, and also to have integration. They have 400 integrations, so I think they can also build in the integrations. How do you call it? That you can link.
Drag and drop builder,
Yeah,
where you can build your whole automation flows. So approach is rather to have as many tools in the one place, so you don't have to like integrate it, because integration is a problem.
Thank you. But
So
please,
sorry for the time. So I think it could be a solution for intense Zapier users, and keep on. And I really liked your idea. And come to the last one, to Addy. I know how tough it is to find the perfect ads, and I think you have a lot of customers which are already showing how that your solution works. And I also wonder about the competition, how easy it is to do the same as you do. And I would also wonder how easy it is to really onboard new ads offers, and also to onboard new customers. I think this can be really all automated and really outsourced, that it's a fluent process. It's just you're taking your share, more or less. And yes, really liked your idea. And there is not really anything negative I can say about. It's just 3-minute pitch, so it's also hard to. I also wanted to say about the feedback on the team. It's quite hard to rate the team if you just see one founder, more or less.
Thank you so much, Laura. Bas?
Yeah. Well, it's a lovely concept and wider, and it looks very impressive how you reach all this. The things that in this very short notice were not that clear to me is the marketing approach, how you do the lead generation. Is there outreach to those organizations? Is it direct sales only? That was a bit unclear, but I guess that also is interconnected with the question how it is with the market. If you are only looking at those huge players, there's obviously a Fortune 500, etc., but you also have competitors. How big is the market was not clear. I didn't see the slide. And how defendable is it? I know you have a lot of data scientists, etc., but at the end of the day, it could be that somebody comes in just as a kind of a user.com versus HubSpot to make this a cheaper experience. I didn't know much about the pricing.
Thank you, Bas. And in regards of user.com and Addy?
Yeah, I'm already 20 years in marketing, so I always look a little bit shocked at the prices of certain platforms, because obviously at some point it can go up to like many thousands a month, which not all businesses foresee, and it will be a larger component after they first had their 90% discount in the first year and the 50% in the second, which is still a brilliant acquisition plan of one of your competitors. Well, I wish you a lot of strength and luck there, but you have been 5 years in the business. You're now at 1 million ARR, or 4, sorry, it says here 2015. But so, okay, 4 years. So I hope that this means that you've been building a wonderful product, and this is your way, or you're probably already kind of you're not in the red numbers now. So at least you are not fundraising. So well, I still think that the product market fit would have been interesting to see a little bit more traction after 4 years. But still a great, very interesting project.
Please don't spare also your recommendation for improving the presentation and maybe the business model if you have such. And I would like to hear more about your reflection on addy.
Yeah, actually, I noticed when I wanted to go to addy.com, there was this kind of couple that retired from their honeymoon, and I think buy their domain name because addy.co may be cannibalized, or give them an affiliate link or something. But in a way, from a helicopter view, I think if you can disrupt that corner of the market, I completely agree that is very interesting. I'm somehow so worried that it's not a fully online total business, but that it will have a very labor intensive element. I know you've luckily mentioned that is not much the case, but that would, in a deeper discussion, I would really wanted to understand what the kind of touch points are, how intensive that is, what your customer acquisition cost versus lifetime ratio is. And I was wondering whether you are just targeting the States or areas in the States, or is it plans to be broader than that?
Thank you, Bas. Just for to the founders, all the questions that obviously here are left unanswered, you could use them defining also your further pitch documents and pitch session, because this is a true reflection from investors that are here actually to support that process. So of course you can get connected afterwards if both sides are interested into. Nicolai, the floor is yours. Happy to hear your reflection, if you may.
Sure, happy to. First of all, I really like the pitches, all of them. I think I have been part of WEBIT in the past. I think really the founders really stepped up the game. So very much time management on point, clear. In 3 minutes, that's very good. Running briefly through, I'm obviously and wider. The idea is great, fantastic. I think you're underselling yourself. So I would like to have a bigger vision in there. I would like to have more fantasy of what you can do. So I think you're really lacking out the opportunities, what you can do with the data, what you can do with the brand, what you can do. And I think also Laura mentioned it, using that one. So I think you're underselling yourself. I thought it's great what you have, and I think you can do a lot more with it. So be more creative and get me more hooked on that one, because I'm hooked on the problem. I'm not hooked on how you sell it yet. On user, I just felt it's too broad. The market is just too crowded. Obviously you're doing something right. Otherwise you're not where you are at the moment. But for me, it was a little too blurry. I got lost. I'll be honest. I would like to see a lot more really you're hooked. And then also I didn't get the split between the freemium and the paid and the link between. So you kind of lost me there in your marketing, positioning, pitch, target customers. So like that one, to see a lot more clear of really where you're going, how you're taking that one, and then cut out, because it will take a lot of your energy just to have the breadth if you're not razor sharp focused. If it's part of the scaling story, then I missed the scaling story. But for me, it's that part. I think you have certainly built something great. I guess also there you can do a lot more out of that one if you be more sharp. On addy, first of all, I've been doing quite a little of work in with a couple of our startups in the marketing, advertising world. Super complicated. I don't know the US market too well, so therefore I can't really say that one. Obviously, a huge opportunity, time for disruption, absolutely a terrible market, but terrible. And then it depends on the super regional or even localized market. So it's very fragmented. So that's kind of goes to what Bas mentioned in terms of the operating model, managing your economics. So I think there you gotta just have. But I'm sure looking at your team, you have that very much under control. How much can you really spend in order to remain profitable? Certainly, it's a huge opportunity. Super fragmented, old school market. Handshake and let's meet and discuss. So if you can build something, by the way, I'm not a fan on your marketing, on your website approach. I think there can be, it can be taking to the next level. Might be that this specific target group at the moment is that one. I don't think there would be a fit with a market in Europe, just in terms of how you present it. I think it would, yeah, but might be the US again, very different market. But overall, certainly the most attractive, I would say, from the outside, most attractive market opportunity, as that market is too broken overall.
Thank you so much, Nicolai. Great reflection. I think this is very helpful for our founders. And Lluís? Lluís, sorry, we don't hear you. 1 second.
Okay, now,
okay, now
maybe?
Yeah.
Sorry. So I'll give you just a couple of points that I would like to hear on your pitches. By the way, of course, take into consideration that with 3 minutes, it gets what it gets. So a couple of points that I would like to hear on each of you, right? So for wider, I would like to hear more on the scalability and how you kind of escape from the. So for me, the challenge is not to classify you as a consultant, right? So how are you going to escape from that and add a bit more on the value add that you add to the customer, right? To your customer beyond so the information that you're not just a consultant for him, right? So how you can create more value with your value proposition, which is great. A bit with what Nicolai said, right? You can exploit much more what you're doing, right? So what the information that you're getting, you could get much more value, I think, from that. Then for user.com, right? I would center on customer experience and the competitive advantage. So as we said, right, the market is crowded. There are many solutions, and as you said, right, if your competitive advantage is price, then I mean, no problem, right? Or if it's usability, but I mean, just to center what is the customer experience using your platform, right? What is your target customer? Also, I did not get that very much, right? So how you targeting your customers? Who are they? And for addy, so advertising, it's very complicated. At least under my, I don't have that great experience, right? But it's a super complicated world for many investors, right? It's full of many players. There's been a lot of transformation in the last years. So for your solution and what I understood, I would like to get more where you sit in the value chain, right, and the other stakeholders. How are you placed in that scheme of Google? And I mean, it's a world dominated by some giants, right? And on the other part of this is how you escape from being a local player, right? I mean, because it's on the upper side is dominated by few giants, mainly Google, right? But the other part is mainly local, right? So how can you build a kind of international, or at least kind of a scalable and big solution with your value proposition and escaping from this little restaurant or whatever in the zone, right? So and I think that's all.
Sorry.
That's
all.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Well, now I would like to have the 3 founders with me in the studio. First to hear if you've heard something helpful, if it was if there's something that you might take as value from these advantages, from these advices, and to turn it into an advantage. Leah, how was it?
Very useful. I appreciate the questions asked, and feedback always indicates, what questions I need to answer in the pitch itself. But I get the need for a bigger vision. There is a big vision behind and wider, but we need to do it justice in the pitch itself.
I agree. If you communicate it better, I think that with the data you have, you might be building a very bolder presentation that could go much beyond the pure product service that you're providing. Otherwise, it sounds great, and the fact that you've managed to spread yourself so broadly around the world is a great success story for yourself. So that could be a great opportunity. And so, what about you, Mike?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your feedback. It was really valuable. I have to correct my pitch because like both mentioning issues like our target persona, so our target is pretty clear. Those are online businesses, but it didn't like being loud in our pitch. So we are a HubSpot for online business, and also we have an ideas for for a scalability, but it's longer than 3-minute period.
No,
to just
I hear you, Mike.
type
Still,
the
you have to
idea.
shorten your presentation definitely. And you also got me lost when you were starting explaining the premium model. And what's the value. So you definitely need to focus there. You said you're not fundraising at the moment.
No, so I'm not pitching oftenly.
All right. And Addy, Ben, how was it?
Really good. I appreciate the feedback. A couple things. One is that, like, you're right. We have been focused on the U.S. That's sort of our market to date, but we should give more thought to how that translates across the rest of the world. And we do get asked for it by customers. Like, can you help us with, even Central America or South America? So it's certainly good feedback. And I'm sure the other founders can agree with this. When you're used to pitching in prose and you have to edit down to poetry for 3 minutes, like maybe you don't always make the best choices, but so that was a good learning for me.
Thank you so much. Well, obviously you've done something right because we have the winning list and you are on the top of it. Congratulations, Ben. Addy is the winner.
Oh, thank you.
We have the investors betting all of you during these 1 hour 60 minutes of our time. At the end of the day, of course, the winner gets the opportunity to present, to connect him to or her to our ecosystem, and at the same time to have the opportunity to join the Founders Games $1 million award. So that's the winning bet. But of course, all of you, the 3 of you founders, are doing a great job, and the 3 of you are presenting really great companies with, I believe, myself and our team, a huge potential to grow. So more than happy to support you on the way and to make sure that you would feel great in our WEBIT family. Thanks to all the investors. Thank you so much. Doing a great job. Thank you for committing your time to support these founders and help them on the way. In overall, it's a great Brand Innovation Week. We shall present the winners to the Brand Innovation community during the next few days. Tomorrow we are having the last session with leading media, representatives of Forbes. We have Inc. magazine and others joining us to reflect on what makes a successful marketeer and what are the trends in branding during and post-COVID. Saying that, it's a wrap. Thank you so much for all of you for being with us. Again, congratulations to the winner, and looking forward to see you, all of you, wonderful WEBIT community tomorrow. Thank you all.
This program is powered by thevirtual.show, making your offline events virtual.